What's going on, guys? I'm Built and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock farm tutorial video. This video is going to be a tutorial for my brand new iron farm design. This iron farm was requested from one of my Patreon viewers, which was Ariana12121. So thank you for the request, and I hope that this iron farm serves you well, as well as all of the rest of the Minecraft community. If you would like to become a Patreon and request a video, all of the information to become a Patreon is down below, and it also does help out the channel and help support it. With that being said, let's jump into a quick overview. This iron farm is going to utilize 30 different villagers inside of it to give you the maximum rates possible on the Bedrock edition. This iron farm is going to put out between 400 and 450 iron ingots per hour, and that is due to the 30 different villagers that this farm uses. If you would like, you can use 20 villagers instead of 30, however you are going to get about 5% less iron ingots per hour. This farm utilizes 4 different kill chambers, that way the iron golems get killed as quickly as possible, and that way they spend as little time as possible going through the water current. That way we can get these guys killed, collect their iron, and get ready to spawn more iron golems. That way we don't have any decrease in the rates. A few notes before we get started. You want to make sure that this iron farm is built far away from anything that can be considered a village inside of Minecraft. You want at least 100 blocks away from anything that has a villager, a bell, workstation, villager breeders, trading halls, anything that can be considered a village. You want it at least 100 blocks away. That way you don't run into any reliability issues or the farm breaking. Another thing is, I would highly recommend that you never sleep anywhere around this iron farm, as I have found in some of my testing that sleeping in a bed next to any villager tech can cause the villagers to unlink, which will also break the farm. If you follow both of these rules, then this farm should last you a really long time and produce a ton of iron for you. So a quick rundown of how this iron farm works. We have a village up top here, which contains 30 different villagers. Since there's 30 different villagers, that's going to give us a max spawn cap of 3 different golems, and they are going to want to keep these iron golems around this village at all time. That way they can have the iron golems to protect the village. However, we make that very difficult for them, because whenever these golems spawn in, we're killing them very quickly, and then they're going to constantly want to replace it. That way they have iron golems to protect them. Like a lot of different things inside of the Minecraft Bedrock edition, the name of the game is to kill the mobs as fast as possible, so we have all of the iron golems being swept into their own dedicated kill chamber. And since we have 4 different kill chambers and a small area where they can spawn in, the duration that they are going to be floating in water is minimized, and that way they can immediately get into the lava and die very quickly. What do you say? Enough jibber jabber. Let's get to building this thing. Everything that you're going to need is going to be inside of the description below. Oh, and while you're down there, if you like the video, go ahead and drop a like. It really does help out the channel. Thanks. The first thing that you're going to do is find you an area, and like I said, you want to make sure that this is at least 100 blocks away from all other villager tech. And you are also going to make sure that there's not any terrain or anything around this area that's going to be able to have iron golem spawn on top of it. So I would not recommend building this next to a giant hillside that's right next to your iron farm or anything of that sort. Make sure that you have plenty of room around you to work with. Next, you're going to tower up about 10 blocks inside of the air. That way we have a good distance from the ground. Next, you can place down a double chest. Once you have that double chest down, you can go ahead and place a hopper inside of the top of each side of your double chest. Next, you can go on top of your hoppers, and you're going to build out with hoppers connecting into this one by 4. And then you're going to go to the other side and build out by 4 with all of your hoppers connecting into this hopper. So you should have all of those hoppers connecting into your 2 central hoppers going into your chest. Next, on the side away from the front of the double chest, you're going to build out in this direction by 6. Again, making sure that all of your hoppers are going into the hoppers that you already placed down. Now do the same thing on this side here. Now you're going to do the same thing to the front side, but instead you're going to build out by 7. At this point, you should have a H-like pattern, and all of your hoppers should be flowing into the chest. Next, we're going to go to each end of the hoppers, and we're going to build a 3x3 platform. So we're going to go to this end here, and we're going to build out by 2. And then we're going to place down 2 more hoppers flowing in, and then 2 more hoppers flowing in, which is going to give all of these hoppers flowing into this central line. And it's also going to give us our 3x3 platform. Now we're going to do it on this side as well. Again, making sure all of these hoppers are flowing into this central line. And you also want to make sure that your 3x3 is hanging on the outside, not on the inside. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side, on the outside of the hoppers. Next, you're going to grab your glass. You're going to go to whatever side you want, and on this hopper here, you're going to place down a piece of glass, and then you're going to build this all the way around. You can leave the corners off to save glass if you would like, or you can add corners if you'd like. It's entirely up to you. Next, you're going to build this up by 3. Go ahead and do this to the remaining 3 sides. And once you've done that, it should look just like this. Next, you're going to grab your fence gates and your buttons, and you're going to go 1 block up from the hoppers, and you're going to place in your buttons all the way around the inside diameter here. And then once you're done with your buttons, you're going to grab your fence gate, and you're going to crouch place a fence gate right here on this center button, which is going to place that fence gate directly in the middle. And they should all be at the same level, and they should be, again, 1 block up from the hoppers. Go ahead and do this to the remaining 3 killing chambers, and then we'll proceed to the next step. Next, you're going to take your solid blocks, and you're going to go to each one of your modules, and you're going to build this out by 4. So it should overhang by 3 here. And then you're going to build this out by 4 as well, again overhanging by 3. And you're going to do this on the remaining 3 different killing chambers. And once you've done that, it should look like this. Now you can go ahead and connect all of your corners together. Then you're going to wrap this all the way around with solid blocks. Next, you can go ahead and fill in this entire area that is outlined by blocks here. Just make sure that you leave your 3x3 areas empty. That way you do not cover up your kill chambers. And once you're done, it should look just like this. You should have a 22x22 block platform. Next, go to whatever corner you would like. Place down a temporary block. Place down a glass block here and a glass block there. And now we're going to wrap this entirely all the way around the outside diameter of this entire platform. Next, you want to go ahead and grab your leaves, and you are going to do the exact same thing with your leaves, going all the way around the top of the glass that you just laid down. Once you've done that, you're going to go to any corner that you would like, and then count to the right by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. On the 12th block, you're going to place down 1 leaf here, and then another leaf block on top of it. Do this to all 4 corners. And once you get done with that, this is what you should have. Note that your leaf pillars that you just made are going to be off center from the other side. Next, you're going to go to the very front of your iron farm where the front of the face of the chest is, and you're going to go to this leaf pillar here. Now you're going to take this leaf pillar and you're going to go in this direction by 6. And on the 7th block, you're going to place down a piece of glass. Now you're going to go to the opposite side that's all the way across here and do the exact same thing, going in by 6. And then 1 piece of glass. So you should have 7 leaf blocks total, glass, and then glass, and 7 more leaf blocks total. Next, you're going to go to each side and you're going to build in by 4. And then place a piece of glass. And then do the same to this side as well. 4 pieces of leaves and a piece of glass. Next, you're going to take your leaves and you're going to build these out by 1 additional block all the way around with your leaves. And now we are going to grab our temporary blocks and we are going to make a platform that goes all the way around here and connects all the way across here and fills in this entire area. That way we have an area to where we can place all of our beds down. So this is what you should have, and this is going to give you just enough area to place down 30 beds. However, we're not going to place down any beds just yet. We need to place in our villagers first. At this point, you can go ahead and grab your glass again, and we're going to place down a temporary block here, and then we're going to build all the way around this with 4 blocks. Remove that temporary block, and then we're going to bring this up by 3. And then you're going to repeat the same thing on each one of these glass blocks here. Next thing we're going to do is get all of our villagers installed. So what we need to do first is find the very back of the iron farm, which is indicated by the back of the chest here. We're going to go to the back of the iron farm and we are going to place down a couple of indicator blocks. That way we know that this is the back of the iron farm. The reason why that matters is because this back cell here is only going to have 6 villagers inside of it, whereas the remaining 3 on this side here, here, and here are going to have 8 villagers each. The best way to get villagers inside of this on survival mode is going to be having the villagers set aside and ready to go before sending them to the iron farm here. You are going to want to just use regular villagers. Do not use any nitwits, which are the guys inside of the green jumpsuits. These guys cannot carry any kind of profession and they are totally useless and will stop your farm from working. You also do not want to use any babies inside of this farm because the babies do have a chance to grow up and become a nitwit, which will keep the farm from working as well, and the babies cannot work until they grow up anyways. So you want to make sure that you only have villagers that can obtain a profession, and then you are going to send them into your iron farm. The easiest way to do this on survival mode is going to be break a block there and then bring this across, and you can run your rel from wherever your villager breeder is and then place down a cart with a villager inside of it. Give him a nudge and he will fall into the hole. Once he falls down in the hole, you can go ahead and break that block, remove that cart, and then you can go ahead and box that back up and then move on to the next villager. Once you are done placing in all of your villagers on each cell, you are going to place down a block here. Go ahead and place water down on the block that they are standing on, and then you can go ahead and place a block there to keep the water inside and remove that bottom block. They're going to start jumping up and down. That's totally fine and not a problem. Go ahead and do this to all of the remaining cells. Just remember that this back cell only gets 6 villagers. And once you've done that, you should have a pretty good party of villagers jumping all around. They are very excited for this iron farm. Next, you can go ahead and grab you a piston. And you're just going to place down a piston here and push this glass over top of those villagers. That way they stop jumping up and down. And then you can place another piece of glass down. Do this to the remaining 3 modules. So at this point now you're going to want to grab your beds. I like to use one different bed, that way I know where the center of the village is. And you're going to take that bed and place it down. I'm going to go ahead and use a red bed here for the center of the village. The center of the village is going to be the very first bed that you place down, so make sure that you place it down in the very center here. Next, we can go ahead and grab our lava buckets, and we're going to place in our lava. You can go to each one of your kill chambers, and you are going to place the lava on top of your fence gate. Make sure that it goes on top of the fence gate and it does not go on any of the other blocks. Next, we're going to grab our slabs, and we're going to go down here, and we're going to take our slabs and run our slabs all the way across the underside of these leaves until we get to the very center here. And then we're going to take this side here and bring it all the way across until we get to the center. This side here, bring it all the way into the center. And on the other side, well, you guessed it, we're doing the exact same thing. Next, we're going to place in all of our water. So we're going to grab some temporary blocks and we're going to fill in each one of our kill chambers here temporarily. Now we're going to grab our water and we're going to place water in all 4 corners. Then you're going to go to each one of your leaf pillars and place in a water directly underneath your leaf pillar and one to the left. So you should have 2 source blocks there. Do the same thing on all 4 sides. And then you are going to go directly underneath these 4 blocks and you're going to place 4 source blocks of water directly underneath them. So this is what you should have once you're done, and you can go ahead and remove your temporary blocks. The next thing that we're going to do is link all of our villagers to their dedicated workstation. It's very important that the workstation that they link to, that they are able to get to and work on it. That way they are able to produce iron golems. If this is not done correctly, then your iron farm will not work correctly. So it's very important to take your time and make sure that this is done correctly. You're going to take one of your fletching tables and you're going to crouch and place it down on the bed. Once you do this, one of the villagers are going to link to it, indicated by these green particles. The villager that has the green particles in one of these 4 modules are the villager that you want to place this fletching table with. So we can go ahead and break that, place it back down, and we know that this guy over here wants to link to it. So we're going to remove this and we are going to break one of these blocks. That way we don't let out our villagers. And we are going to place that fletching table in there with him. That way he's able to work with it. Next, we're going to move on to the next one, and we're going to crouch and place another one and see where this one wants to link, which is directly behind us. So we're going to take this one. We're going to remove 1 glass block and place down this one. That way it can link with the villagers. Next, we're going to repeat this process 28 more times and link with all of these villagers. This back one again should only have 6 tables that go with it, whereas the remaining ones here, and here are going to have 8 apiece. One final note on this back one, because it's only going to have 6 here, you're going to want to place 2 here, 2 in the front, and 2 here. That way it blocks their sight from the bed, and leave these 2 behind exposed glass blocks. Alright, so we are all done linking the villagers, and hopefully it wasn't too tedious of a process for you. One thing I want to go over before we proceed to the next step is that 2 of the main reasons why iron farms break in the Minecraft Bedrock edition is because 1, these villagers will become unlinked from these stations, and if that ever happens, then you can go ahead and remove one of these blocks here, and then place it back down, and you should be able to see green particles here. If you see green particles over there or over there, then you know that guy over there linked to this workstation, and since he's over there, he cannot come over here because he's boxed in, and he'll never be able to work here, breaking your iron farm. So if these guys ever become unlinked, you'll have to relink all of these modules all over again, relinking all 30 of your workstations. The other thing that's going to break this is if the village center ever moves, which is going to be this bed here. And that's relatively easy to fix. All you have to do is remove all of your beds here. And then you're going to place down your village center right here, making this bed the very first one that you place. After that, the village center is created and you can place down the rest of the beds, and it doesn't matter which ones follow the remaining order. The only one that matters is the very first one here. Next, at this point, you should have some iron golems inside of your chamber, and we can go ahead remove these 2 marker blocks as they are no longer needed. So inside of here, we have 3 different iron golems that are already down here. So now we need to go ahead and set up the kill chamber. That way, instead of meandering around down there, they are able to, well, you know, produce iron. So since recording this tutorial video, about halfway through it, Mojang posted a update that they are releasing a huge bug fix. One of the huge bug fixes that they are releasing is going to be one that is going to change a lot of our mob farms. The fix that they ended up changing is the fix that allowed the game and also mobs to think that coral fans are a solid block, and this is going to change how this farm works here. Now, it's not going to change anything rate-wise. It's only going to make it to where the cats are not going to fall in as easy. The iron golems are going to fall in just as easily because, well, they have no choice. They're pushed in by the water. You might be wondering, well, the water doesn't go all the way to the edge here, and that is intentionally designed like that, and it does not need to. The reason why it does not need to is because the iron golems in the Bedrock edition are 1.4 blocks wide, so even if they're standing right here, they still are wide enough to where they are in one side of the water stream or the other, making it where they can never stand here. They will always be pushed in here into the kill chamber. The cats are not going to affect anything. You might see some cats meandering over here or down there. That's not going to change the farm or how it spawns golems at all. The reason why this is relevant is because if we have our coral fans here, then if the game thinks that they're a full block, it's going to keep this fence gate from catching on fire and burning from the lava. However, since these are no longer going to be considered full blocks once the 1.19 update releases, then it's not going to keep this fence gate from burning and catching on fire. So if we do not have these here, then this fence gate is going to be covered in lava, and it's eventually going to catch on fire, and then that fence gate will eventually burn up, and the lava is going to drop down here into our hoppers and burn up all of our iron collection down here at the bottom, which is going to burn up the iron before it ever has a chance to make it inside of the hoppers. And as you can see, that fence gate is gone, and now the lava is falling down. So what we need to do in order to fix that is get rid of all of this lava, and instead of placing in fence gates here, we're going to 86 those, and we are going to replace them with signs because signs are not flammable and it will hold up the lava. So instead of placing in a fence gate, you can place in a sign here, and then we can go ahead and place the lava on top of it. And even though the buttons and the signs are wood, they will never catch on fire because it's not programmed into the game, as they are not supposed to. So next you want to go all the way around here and replace the other 3 modules inside of here. You can go ahead and dump lava on these guys' head, or you can kill them if you would like with your sword. It's entirely up to you. However, we just need these guys out of the way. Now, one thing to note, whenever you are killing these iron golems, it is a lot better to use buckets of lava. That way they are not going to AI on you. In survival mode, they will try to kill you, and they will yeet you across the sunset very, very far off into the distance. So it's really a good idea to use lava whenever you're killing these guys, and then just make sure that all of your signs are covered with lava buckets over top of them, and then check that none of your lava is flowing down to where it's not supposed to be, down inside of the kill chamber. At this point, you should have iron golems spawning and going into the kill chamber, producing the iron. Now, this farm is fully functional as of now. These cats down here, you can open this up, let them out, and then kill them if you would like, or free them, name tag them, whatever you would like to do with them. However, these guys are going to be stuck down here until they despawn. Any other cats that fall in from this point forward are going to fall through the lava, and that's pretty much going to kill them every time, even if they fall down to the bottom. You are also probably going to have a huge mob farm down here, so feel free to come down here and just light it up a little bit to get rid of them. That way they don't spawn down there. We are almost done with this farm. Now all we have to do is add the finishing touches. You can go ahead and leave this platform if you would like. I prefer to remove it, and once you remove it, then I like to just add leaves into place just to make it look a little bit more clean. However, it's entirely up to you. You do not have to remove it if you do not want to. If you do decide to remove it, just be sure that you do not break any of these glass blocks, as the villagers will fall down, and it's not going to be very much fun to get them back up inside of there. The next thing that you're going to do is grab you some glass, and you're also going to grab you 4 lightning rods. We're going to go above each one of your villager cells, and we're going to go up by 6 blocks. Then we're going to build this out by 3 in each direction. Then in each corner, we're going to place in 3 blocks, making this a platform. And then we're going to place a lightning rod here and remove the rest of this glass all the way down to the villagers. This platform is going to keep lightning from striking your villagers. If they get struck by lightning, they're going to turn into witches, and then you're going to have to refill all of these with villagers. Then you're going to have to relink them all, and it's not going to be any kind of fun. It's much easier just to make some lightning platforms to keep these guys from ever getting struck in the first place. Go ahead and do this to all 4 cells, and then we can proceed on to the next step.
The R is built. Why do you need 4 lightning rods? The lightning rod will cover 64 blocks in Minecraft Bedrock.
Well, because consistency and bugs. And if one doesn't protect it, then one of the other 3 will. I would rather sacrifice 12 ingots of copper than to have to replace even one of these villagers. Well guys, that's going to wrap up this Minecraft Bedrock Edition farm tutorial video. I really hope this iron farm helps you guys out, and I hope that it serves you for a very long time inside of your Minecraft survival world. If you are new here, then I would consider checking out all of my past tutorials, as well, as I've been very busy on my first year of YouTube, and there is a ton of tutorials on there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.